Hi friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Juan. I'm a yarn addict, hence the name Juan the Yarn Addict, and I want to thank each and every one of you guys for stopping by to check out my video today. This is a yarn and crochet channel where we talk about all things yarn and all things crochet, so if that interests you, please sit back and watch this video because today, my friends, I offer you another session of WIPn It with Juan. So if you're new here, hi, hello, and welcome. I'm super happy that you found me. WIPn It with Juan is a session where I sit back, I work on a project, otherwise known as a work in progress, a WIP, and I talk to you about all the things. I randomly sip my coffee, I'll talk to you, I'll go off on tangents, I'll giggle. It's a little bit of this and a little bit of that. It's almost like I'm paying you a visit. We're sitting next to each other for about 45 minutes to an hour, and we're just enjoying each other's company. So if that interests you, feel free to just sit back and relax and enjoy the show. So, randomly throughout this session, I'm going to place us on brief pauses just to make sure that the data is saved. Because for some reason, as of late, some of my sessions would not save. I would go 45 minutes to about an hour and go to save it all, and it wouldn't save. For some reason, just the technology seems to be very glitchy. So just to be on the safe side, I'm going to be saving throughout. Okay? So now is one of those times. I'm just going to save us, and I'll be right back. Okay, friends. And so today, I am going to be working on my squares project. So if you've been following me, you know all about this. I am finally at the red. So 60 squares. I have black left to go on these squares. This is the project. Okay, so I made 60 of these and I completed the red finally. And now I'm putting the final round on all of the squares. I'm super excited about this. It's a labor of love, friends. So one thing I'm going to tell you right off the bat about this is that none of my ends are sewn in. Not a single end. Not a one. I have a friend. Her name is Penn. She's going to be sewing in my ends for me. I am super happy about that because I won't have to sew in my ends. Anyway, I'm going to make 64 of these. Even though I have 60 here, I'm going to make 4 additional squares because through the journey here, I decided that I don't want a rectangle, I want a square. I want to do 8 across and 8 down, and these are 8-inch squares, so it's going to be 64 by 64. I like that for me. And yeah, so after I have the black round placed on all of my squares, I'm going to send these over to Penn. She's going to sew in my ends, and then she's going to send them back to me, and then I'm going to join all the squares. So the entire project is worked up using Loops and Threads Soft Classic. This is the final color, so this is black, obviously. It's a very thick 4-weight yarn, and I love this yarn. I can't talk enough about it because I really do enjoy the thickness of this. Now, I do have another project that I'm working on. It's called the Annie M Blanket. I'm running 2 Loops and Threads Soft Classic yarns together using a 10mm crochet hook, and it looks beautiful. If you look at, I think it was the last WIPn It with Juan session, there's an image, the thumbnail. You can actually see what that looks like worked up. It's beautiful. So anyway, for this, I'm probably going to need about 4 skeins to go around 60 squares because I used a little over 3 skeins to do the red. So, yes, the red took about 3 skeins of this yarn, Loops and Threads Soft Classic, and 1 skein is 354 yards. So, that's a lot of yards, friends. Now, they suggest a 5.5mm crochet hook. I did not use that for this project. I used a 6mm crochet hook. This is the hook I used. I've been flip-flopping between the Furls Odyssey and the Dots hook. So these are the 2 I've been flipping back and forth. They're both 6mm crochet hooks. When I get bored with the one, I go to the next one, and then it keeps life interesting. I don't know. Anyway, so I will be working this on today's session. And let me just finagle myself in a situation where you can see me do all the things. So, did I show you the final square? I think I did, but just to be sure, that's what this looks like. Now I've sewn in the ends on the one square. I mean, not bad. I like that for me. So anyway, I'm really proud of this because I have declared June to be the month where I finish all of my WIPs. Okay, so out of all of the WIPs, I did finish one, and I'm saving it for a podcast episode. So once I have a few finished objects, I'll do a podcast episode, and one of the segments will be finished objects. It's right here. I have half a mind to pull it and show you really quick, but I don't want to spoil the surprise. So I'm going to leave it sit over there, and I'm going to work on this. And, you know, speaking of which, I have other WIPs right here. Should I show you guys? Yeah, why not? Why not? We're here, we're hanging out, we're having a good time. So this is my moss stitch in the square. I am 3.5 skeins in. It's like a piece of art. It's so beautiful, right? I love this. And I am working this project up with a 6.5 millimeter crochet hook. I had to think about that for a second. And so, yeah, it's super nice. And I'm flipping every round just to keep it perfectly square. There's no lean to it. It's really nice. I have a tutorial on my channel for this. The very beginning is the thumbnail image of the tutorial, and then I just continued on. Now my goal here is to finish this with 5 skeins. So I'm on number 3. I have 2 more after, and then I'm finished. So I was so inspired by this that I went ahead and bought Favorite Stripe, and so I'm doing the same thing with that. So I have 2 versions of the moss stitch in the square, and so there's that. Now this colorway, I was inspired by my mother because she did a granny square blanket using this yarn, and it was phenomenal. So I said, you know what, I need to do that. And so I did, and so here it is. So there's that. Let me set that over here. And then, of course, I have my quarter panel blanket. Now, I feel like this has been on the hook too long. I need to really just pump this out and be done with it because I have been looking at this for the longest time. So here's some meaning, how many is here? This is 2. I don't know where the third one is. I'll have to look for it. But here are the 2. And I do have a tutorial on my channel for the corner to corner. And so here is this. Super, super nice. I'm doing quarter panels, 2 feet wide by 3 feet long. I'm making 4 of them, and I'm going to pair these together like it's a diamond. So, like this. This is going to be the bottom half, and then the top half will be like this. And then I'm going to join in this, in a cross, top to bottom, left to right. And then I'm going to do a framing. So I'm going to do a border, and I'm going to use a scrap cake for the border as well. So it's going to be all the things. Anyway, I'm on the last quarter panel, and I just need to get it done. I firmly believe I can get all of my WIPs done. They're so close. I just need to focus and pay attention on one at a time and just get it done. Now, the one concern that I do have is my rainbow squares, because this is going to be a send-out job. Like, I have to put black on all these squares, and then I have to send it out, and then I have to wait for it to come back, and then I have to join it. But the joining part's not going to be the hard part for me. I mean, I just need one good day where I have nothing else to do but this, and I can join all of this in one day. So anyway, those are the WIPs that I have in the studio right now. Yeah. And so now let's go ahead and start working on the things. So I'm going to slide back a little bit so you can see. Okay, perfect. Perfect. And so I have my iPad here. Let's flip this around. I have tons of questions. In the studio, there's like this tab where you can press comments with questions, and then all the questions from all your videos just pop up. And so here it is. Let's see. Well, first I need a sip of my coffee. This is Dunkin' Donuts hazelnut coffee with caramel macchiato creamer, sugar-free and all the things because I am diabetic. I still have to have my coffee though. Diabetes or not, I love my coffee. Have to have it. Okay, so good. Love it. I think for now I'm going to use my Furls Odyssey. And we're just going to get started. I'm going to set the basket right here. Because why not, you know? It's fine. Look at all of that. That's just a lot. Pen, I really hope you're in the mood to sew in all these ends because there are a lot of ends. Okay, I changed every round. Pen. But see, some people really enjoy that. They really enjoy, you know, the monotony of just sewing in end after end, maybe putting on a good movie, a good song, and just going to town. But me, my friends, I'm not that person. Now, what I'll do is, like if I left this whole project here, I would grab a pair of scissors, I'd lay it flat like this, go like this, and go snip, snip, snip. And that would be the extent of that. Why? Because it's for the house. It's not going anywhere. I'm not selling it. It's staying right here. And I like that for me, you know? So I'm perfectly okay with having imperfect this and imperfect that. If I really wanted to show off, of course I would sew in my ends, but no one's really going to see this because I live in this house with just me and my mother. So, yeah. Anyway, let me get to the questions. Let's see, I'll answer a question. Okay, let's see. Tons of questions. So many questions. Okay, so there are project ideas that I posted out on the YouTube streets. I think it was in one of the videos where I had asked, you know, what kinds of things would you guys like to see? Because I, my friends, want to do all the things. Like, there isn't something that I don't want to do. Like, I want to do all of it. So when I get these responses, a lot of times people will say, just do what you want to do. It's your channel. Just do what you want to do. See, the thing is I want to do all of it. Like, I literally want to do all of it. There aren't enough hours in the day for what I want to do. I want to do all of it. So to kind of give myself some sort of limit, I ask everyone who can hear me, hey, what would you like to see next? Like, what would you like? You know, it's not that I'm, you know, asking for any type of permission or anything, or it's nothing like that. It's, okay, so I have all the things in my brain. I would love to do all of them right now. I need 4 more sets of arms connected to the brain of mine, and that's just not happening. So what's next, friends, right? So some of the ideas that I'm getting are pretty great, actually. Let's see, we have a plant pot cover, headbands, bookmarks, sunglass holder, frisbees. I've never crocheted a frisbee before. I wouldn't know what that would entail, but there's always a first. Some of the other ideas that I've read were curtains using like a 2/8 yarn and a lacy stitch, which I think is great, but for a summer project, that could be labor intensive depending on the size of window you're working. So not every window is the same, but it still is a really great idea. Can you imagine like a 2/8 yarn, pineapple stitch, curtains? It's all the things. It's so good. Just as an example for sure, not a definite, because that is a very involved stitch with tons and tons of rows for a repeat. What were some of the other projects? Ponchos, pillowcases, table runners. I mean, I got so many great ideas from those responses. So stay tuned, friends. We're just going to do all the things. One at a time, though, unfortunately, because I only have 2 hands. There was a question that was asked about my Annie M blanket. So the thumbnail, you'll see me holding it like this. It's the moss stitch back and forth, rainbow colors. That is my Annie M blanket. Someone asks, how many chains with my 10mm hook? So with a 10mm hook, that is 120 chains. So when you're doing your single crochets, chain 1 and all that, it's literally 60 single crochets with a chain in between each one. It works up super fast. And I like that for us. We love fat stitches with fat hooks. It works up super fast. Especially in the summertime, you know? We don't want to sit there with a heavy blanket on us. I mean, okay, fine. So you're in air conditioning? Got it. Totally understandable. But even with air conditioning, the weight of a very heavy blanket is very cumbersome. So, you know, the faster you can get that off of your hook, the better. So that's all I'm saying about that. But I thoroughly am enjoying working with a bigger hook. Now, the bigger hooks aren't new to me, but my interest in working with bigger hooks, you know, that whole thing is new. So I'm excited about that, because now I'm wondering, what other weights of yarns can I pull together with these thicker hooks, and what can I create? And, you know, the inspiration is endless. So I'm super excited about that. And while I'm crocheting with these yarns with the thicker hooks, I'm thinking stitch multiples, I'm thinking color theory, I'm thinking literally everything, you know, because as a content creator, you have to have that mind frame, like, what else can I create? What else can I do? What else, you know? And for me, that's the fun of it. Like, I love having that thought process and just really breaking that down to see what that looks like and what I can do to really push my own boundaries, you know? So, love that for me. I'm loving this square with the black around it. It does take a little longer. The squares are bigger. I remember when I was on the blue, I had all these little purple squares and things. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll have all this done in 2 days. Well, I was sadly mistaken. Nope, that's not the case at all. Now, I will tell you, if I had a weekend where I had no plans, I had no obligations, no work at any of the jobs and things, I would literally sit here and bang out all of the squares in one weekend. Put on a great TV show with all the episodes, all the seasons, and challenge myself to finish the squares before the end of the series. And sometimes I would win, sometimes I would lose. I've done it before, obviously. I did a corner-to-corner blanket with Karen Big Cakes in the colorway Toffee Brickle. I had 6 cakes, and I had 2 of the Karen 1 pound in the off-white. And I said to myself, okay, we're starting this episode series situation. I think it was called New Amsterdam. And I really, really, really enjoyed the first few episodes of the first season. And I said to myself, let's see how far I can go. Like, can I finish this project before I'm done watching New Amsterdam? And yeah, I won that one. It's like a game. I won. So I was very excited about that. But then there was another project where I did not win. I did another corner-to-corner using Bernat Super Value in like these heathered yarns, and I did not win this other series. This other series had 8 seasons, and I finished all 8 seasons, and I still had 1 more cake left. I was disappointed. You win some, you lose some. It's just how the cookie crumbles. I don't know. Okay, let's see. What else? What else? What else? Okay, so, okay. Some people are talking about my scruff. So as of late, I decided to let my facial hair grow because for many, many years, I've always removed my facial hair. And so I just decided one morning, I said, you know what? Let me see what this looks like. Because even I don't know what it looks like. I'm constantly shaving and taking all this off every other day. And so, yeah, I like it so far. So we'll see. But I like all the questions like, you're growing your hair out? Oh my goodness. I love it. Okay. So, question. I'm considering a yarn winder. What is yours? So I have two. I have Stanwood and I have Knit Picks. So my Knit Picks ball winder is the one I like using the most because it's just the most versatile. Like, you know, it's, I don't know, it's fun to use, honestly. I just like using it because the cylinder goes like this. It wobbles as you make your cake. It's very interesting to look at, you know, as opposed to the Stanwood where it has that metal bar that just flings around. And if anything gets in that way, I mean, it's over. Anything gets in the way of that arm, I'm telling you, like, it's just a disaster waiting to happen. So, I mean, I still like it. I enjoy my Stanwood, but my Knit Picks is more enjoyable for me to work with, just because it's, you know, more mobile. It's not as heavy. It's neater to work with. It doesn't get caught up on things. So, yeah. Knit Picks is found on Amazon, and I believe they are $23 for a ball winder. And I have one right here. So let me just show you what that looks like. Here it is. This is the Knit Picks in the purple. And it's so much fun because it anchors to the table using this. And you sit there and you go like this. And then this thing wobbles like this. And it does all the things. And so all the colors and all that. And so I build the cake out until it starts hitting on this. And then that's how I know it's done. And I have some completed cakes here to show off from my last, you know, let's make some cakes with Juan. So that Knit Picks ball winder made this. So it's a nice chunky size situation, right? And then here's another example. So it made these two. I really enjoy making these scrap cakes. It's so much fun. And they can be used on literally anything, you know. No rhyme, no reason. You can just get to work and just do the things. You can make a granny square blanket. Listen, you can make whatever you want with it. You know, the fun part about it is that there is no rhyme or reason to the color story. You don't think. You just grab, you knot, and you keep going. And when you work up your projects, you sit back and you look and you're like, wow, like, I would have never thought to put those colors together, but just by chance, it's beautiful. Look at it, you know? It makes you think. So I really like that. So anyway, Knit Picks is the ball winder. It's $23 on Amazon. And I do have quite a few just sitting around the house waiting for giveaways. I can't wait to get that going. I've been having software glitch issues on my end with my computer and all the things. So I've been trying to do drawings literally every day. But it wasn't until, I think, this morning I was able to do a practice run without my computer crashing. So what would happen is I'd pull up the website, we'd do the links, we'd do the things, and then all of a sudden my computer would just shut off. I don't think it's the website, I don't think it's any of the links, it's my actual computer, and I have an iMac. So, goes to show it doesn't matter what kind of computer you have. I mean, if it's just not going to stand on its own 2 feet, it's not going to stand on its own 2 feet. You know, so now I'm considering, okay, maybe it's time to just bite the bullet and go get a brand new computer, because I've been fussing with this one for too long, if I'm being honest. Now, I have a Windows laptop, but I'm not a Windows person, and I used to be back in the early 2000s. I mean, you couldn't get me off of it. But somewhere around 2010, I converted over to Apple, and I've been an Apple head ever since. So, yep. I don't even know if that word is a thing. I just called myself that. I'm an Apple head. That means I have Apple computer, I have an iPad, I have the iWatch, I have the iPhone, I have the everything. So, Apple head. I call myself that. So there is that. Okay, good. You guys can still see me crochet. So let me go ahead and save us so I don't lose any of this data. Let me slide up. Hold on 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay, friends. So I'm back. You're never going to guess what happened. So I went to save, and I came back, and I did 34 more minutes of content, and those 34 minutes were lost. So I'm glad that I'm saving randomly, and I'm probably going to have to save more frequently just to make sure that we're moving the needle here. So I'm back, and I'm going to continue crocheting until I have a decent amount of minutes. Right now we're sitting at somewhere about 26, 27 minutes. So I'm going to hop on over to my dots hook. I was, as you saw, I was using my Froze Odyssey, but I'm giving that one a break. So we're hopping over to the dots. And so it's a 6mm, and I'm going to just continue working this while answering questions. So I looked over the iPad as I was coming back, and I noticed a question here that says, what's Entrelac? And so Entrelac is a form of Tunisian crochet where it could be worked up in many ways. So traditionally, there are these little squares that you could work up, and you can create projects, you know, corner to corner. You can do Entrelac in the round. You can do Entrelac back and forth. It's just a series of Tunisian squares. And I believe you can use different stitches for it, but I only use the simple stitch. And it works up super fast, but you have to have a hook with enough space on the neck. So if you're going to use a crochet hook, it's fine, but you need to make sure you have neck space, if that makes any sense. So like if I were to use this hook for Entrelac, I probably would measure from here to about here. It's not much room at all. However, I went ahead and had a hook made just for Entrelac crochet. Let me find it. I kind of want to show you now that we're into the conversation. Here it is. This is a Nelson Wood hook, handmade, and as you can see, there's more space on that hook. So I can work it from here all the way to here. And I could fit about, depending on the yarn, I could fit between 7 and 10 stitches on this hook, which is perfect. So 10 stitches by 10 stitches, it's a nice square. So, yes, Entrelac crochet. And I haven't completed an Entrelac project in years, but I still remember how to do it. I'm super excited about it, and yes, I am featuring that on my channel, and I'm not sure if anyone else has it, but that's okay because I'm literally pulling from muscle memory. I'm going to just recall how I used to do it. I'm going to pull some of my makes from the makes room and just showcase those and show you guys what Entrelac in the round looks like completed. I think I did a baby blanket and I did a throw in Entrelac in the round. So the way I make mine is I do a rectangle. So it's not a square. I do a series of squares, and then I just go around, kind of like, you know, granny rectangle blanket, except you're doing these Tunisian squares. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. And what I like to do is I like to change my colors every round. It makes the squares pop when you change every round. And I'll definitely get into that during the tutorial, for sure. I'll talk about the differences of the squares and what looks best, and I would probably dig into a little bit of color theory, because when you are working with color, you want it to make sense. And if you're not going to have it make sense, let it be intentional and not by accident. You know, like my corner to corner panels, they make no sense. None whatsoever, but it's intentional. You know, never should you make a quarter panel like the ones I've made and say, I intended it to be that way on purpose because this color and this, no. That just doesn't make sense. So anyway, very good question. Now, I don't know why I didn't continue on with Entrelac after those projects. I don't know why. I had Tunisian hooks, well, Afghan hooks, the entire time. You know, I've always had Afghan hooks in my stash, but I just never found the interest to just sit there and do it, you know. So, there's that. Let's scroll and continue looking at all the things. Do I have a pattern for the American flag? I do not. I, like many others, go to Ravelry and other places to find the patterns for all the things. A lot of the patterns that I have are creations from my stitch wheel. So I put stitches on a wheel, I spin for the stitches, and I create the project. And while I'm creating the project, I think about what the wheel gave me and how I could best utilize those stitches. So for me, it's contained, but yet still very freeing. And so that's what you'll find on my Ravelry, projects that I have created using the stitch wheel. So there's that. Oh, and by the way, my Ravelry is JuanTheYarnAddict, and there are patterns that have not been uploaded yet, but we're working on it, one thing at a time. Because remember, my computer is just not computing. It's not doing the things. It's just taking all the time to crash, and yes, it's giving me all the things. So let's see. Now this one I get a lot of. What is your arm tattoo of? So I have two tattoos on my arms. I have this one right here, and then I have this one right here. So this one right here is a yin-yang, and it's got the tribal sun. So back in my 20s, the turn of the century, the 2000s, tribal art was very big. I don't know if it is now. I've been so far out of the loop, it's not even funny. Anyway, I got this when I was 21, on my 21st birthday. And yeah, tribal sun with a yin-yang. I never got it touched up. This is just how it's been the entire time. Love that for me. Now, this one here, it's got two bands. It's two circles that intertwine. And it says, love, life. So, this is in honor of my late fiance. So, my fiance passed away a few days before our wedding. So, let's see. We were set to be married on my mom's birthday, March the 3rd. And my fiance passed away on February 27th. And I wanted to have something to remember my fiance by. And I want to be able to look down and just remember all the years we were together. So my fiance and I were together from 2004. We met in 2004, and my fiance passed away in 22. So, very long time. And so yeah, I got the tattoo and I look at it and I remember all the things. And I smile every now and then. And so, you know, for a while there, when it all first happened, I considered myself married, you know, but I was never married. Almost, but not quite. And a lot of people look at it as a very sad story, and in almost every case, it is a very sad story. You know, I lost my fiance by suicide, and so that is something that I take very seriously. And, you know, when people reach out for help because, you know, they're in a very dark place, I take that very serious, and I've had my moments too, you know. But the tattoo, that's the question. The tattoo is just a tattoo remembering my fiance and all the things and what could have been. That's why it's not in color. It's black and white for a reason. Because I've been getting those questions, like, how come it's not in color? Like, there's a reason. So, there's that. And I'm not sad about the tattoo or anything. I look at it and I think about all the good times. And I think about all the happy things, you know. And I loved my life when I was in this place, you know. But this place is no more, so that's why it's in black. So, thank you for the question, and hopefully all of you guys who have asked are seeing this video. So, you know, there's that. What is the color over your right shoulder? So depending on the camera angle at the time, my right shoulder, so we have some things here, all right? So depending on the camera angles, right? So I'll show you the things. So this here is yellow, but it's 3 yellows. We have bright yellow at the bottom. We have light yellow, the bright yellow down here. This is Red Heart Super Saver, these 3. These 3 in the middle are Loops and Threads Soft Classic, light yellow. And then the top 3 are Loops and Threads Soft Classic in butter. There's that. Above is Red Heart Super Saver. You probably can't see that, but it's orange. And then over here, we have mustard, which is this. And then over here is curry. This is all Loops and Threads. Right? Is it curry? Oh, yeah, curry, mustard, and then this is ginger. Yep, these are ginger. Are they all ginger? I wonder. No. So the lighter version is ginger. The darker ones are clay. So depending on the camera angles. And then over here, that is my Red Heart Super Saver ombre bin or cubby, and there's a couple of those, and they're double deep. So there's 18 skeins per square. So you see 9 of them laid like that, and then there's another layer in the back. They're laid just like that. So the only one that's not full is my black, which you can't see. It's next to this gray here. Yeah. So, because I'm going through all the blacks. And then up here, you can't see it, but above this teal, I have a square that has hunter green in it, and there's only 4 skeins in that cubby. So, I have room for more yarn. And one of the questions that I do get asked a lot is, Juan, do you use this yarn? The answer to that question is yes. A lot more than many people think, because when you guys look at this, it looks the same. It's because I replenish it with the same yarn. Like, if I pull a red heart, I put a red heart back. If I pull a Loops and Threads, a Loops and Threads goes back. So, above all the things, I have to keep this wall nice and neat because it is my yarnscape for my videos. So, yes, I have to hold myself to that discipline. before I forget, let me pause us and I'll be right back. I gotta save all the things. Okay, it's saved. I'm so happy. Anyway, let's move on. Can you recommend any stretches to relieve sore muscles from crocheting? Funny story. Yes, I can. So when you crochet, I mean, you use all of your muscles from your elbows all the way to your fingertips. So all of this should be focused on, you know? And so some of the exercises that is best are ones where you're stretching under here. So if you put your hands together like this, and then just bring it down to try and make your arms into a table, very slowly, and don't force it. Just bring it down to make your arms into a flat table. Look at this and look at this. Make it nice and flat and just hold it. You'll notice that right here and right here will stretch, and you just hold it. You know, and if it feels like it's too tight, bring it back up and then slide it back down. Nice and easy. You don't want to overdo it, you know? And then also too, you want to take some time and massage your palms. A lot of times we forget that, you know, we're gripping things for hours on end, and we tend to forget that the muscles that hold everything here need to be tended to, you know, and just take some time and really rub your hands, you know. Get into the muscles all around your palms here, and then squeeze the outside or the top side of your hand. That's just a few, you know. But there's a whole thing, like, just concentrate on your hands, but don't overextend. So like, don't take your hand and flip it all back like this and like this. You know, remember, a lot of what we do is repetitive, and because of that, we just have to pay close attention to like how we're taking care of our hands, and we're not pulling too hard, we're not jerking them, because it really will impact our overall performance when we crochet. So, good question. Let's see. Okay, so what is your favorite wearable that you designed and created? I want to make wearables, but am intimidated by them. Well, I will tell you that my favorite wearable was a sweater that I made in Red Heart Super Saver artist print. It is a sweater, a unisex sweater, and it was my very first one. And it's very ho-hum, and it looks like a school project. As a matter of fact, I want to show you guys this. I think I've worn it on the channel on a live once. I don't know, but I'm going to pause this very quickly, and I'm going to go grab it from the makes room, and I'm going to put it on and show you. I'll be right back. Okay, so I think I'm back. Yes, I am. All right. So this is the sweater, and I used artist print. So nice, and the entire thing is made with half double crochets, front and back, and I did front post and back post in the ribbing. So nice. And then I did that, and then that. And I say it's very ho-hum and all the things because you can clearly tell, you know, the patchwork. If you look close, it doesn't blend, it doesn't, I mean, if I knew how to do it, I would have done a raglan sweater. See that? It's just very abrupt. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put it on. Give me 1 second. Okay, so it's on. So it's nice. Let me come back and show you the things. When I first made this, it was too small for me to put on. And now, yeah, it's nice. I like it. What do you guys think? It's a shame they're discontinuing this colorway, right? So sad. Anyway, It's definitely too hot to have this on for a long time, but yeah. Anyway, let me pause this again and let me get this off, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. But this is my favorite one because it was my first one. My first official completed one that actually looks good. So, it's heavy. It took 12 skeins to make. So, it's pretty heavy. Anyway, there's that. Let me put this over here. All right. So, what is the first thing you crocheted at what age? So the first thing that I crocheted, not completed project, but the first thing that I crocheted, no, I mean, it was just practice, practice, practice until I got to my moss stitch little throw that was riddled with mistakes. I mean, I have at least 100 missed stitches, and it's just a lot of things are going on with that blanket, but that's part of the charm. It's imperfectly perfect, and I wouldn't change a thing. And many years ago, I thought about frogging it and redoing it. Thank goodness I left it alone, because now I can tell you guys the story about, how that all came to be, and I have. It's on my channel. We spoke about it. So, anyway, a lot of people are asking me, how am I? And I do want to tell you that I am well. I am good, And sometimes I forget that it's okay for people to ask how another person is, and it's okay to respond with something unexpected like, no, I'm not okay, or I'm better than okay, Should always be open to accept and receive whatever response comes our way. But I'm good. I'm really good. So there's that. Let's see. Let's keep going. A lot of people are asking about my projects and things. So one person is asking, have I heard from Greg? Yes, I have heard from Greg, and guess what, friends? So Greg, who was formerly Hey Fiber Friends, is back on the YouTube streets, and I'm super happy that he's back. And I believe his channel's name is Paraphrase Crochet. So he's back, and he took a little break, and I'm super happy to see that he's doing his little wind down sessions, which is what this is, right? We all need crochet buddies. I watch him while I crochet. I watch a lot of people while I crochet, because even when these videos are done, I literally go into the squirrel's nest and I watch more videos. Like, I watch videos and things, and I continue to crochet. Because, after all, I do have all the WIPs that I need to finish by the end of June. And June doesn't have 31 days. I wish it did. It would give me another 24 hours to work on WIPs. Oh, it's too funny. Anyway, so my kindness beanie collection, the beanies that I'm donating to my local cancer center here at the hospital, there's all these posts. I can't even talk correctly right now. But a lot of people are coming up with name ideas for the beanies and things. Some of them are out of this world amazing. And some of them are like, okay, that's hilarious. I love that too, But I'm running the Kindness Beanie collection for June and July, where I'm going to spin the wheel, we're going to pick stitches, and I'm going to make a beanie. And if you want to make it, great. And if you don't want to make it, that's cool too. Just feel free to watch and hit the thummies and all the things. A lot of people would love to have something handmade, So in the act of kindness, You know, why not use our craft, crochet, to put a smile on someone else's face? You know? So it could be, oh, I don't know, an emotional support chicken. It could be a pillow, a blanket, a pillowcase, a mug rug, anything. You know, if you know how to make something, why not pull something from your stash that you really don't use, work it up into a nice little project, and give it to somebody and let them get a smile and a gift and all the things, you know, in the act of kindness. So, I have a hashtag. It's called Kindness Matters 2024. And the only motive behind it really is to just promote kindness. Why not? You know? It's cool to be kind. I know it sounds cliche, but it takes so much energy to be negative, but it doesn't really take much energy to just be kind. It really doesn't. So, anyway, there's that. I did another square. Look at the squares, my friends, with all the ends. All the ends. It looks so good with the black border, doesn't it? It's so good. Again, pen is going to be sewing in my ends, so I'm just going to go to town with all the things. I'm super excited about that. So anyway, my friends, I had a great session. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself as well. We talked about a lot of different things, and I mean, I didn't get as much done as I had wanted to, but there's more stitches the further out you go. So I'm okay with it, you know. Anyway, if you enjoyed this, hit the like button. Consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. I'd love to have you because we do all the things. I mean, it's part of what I say. Juan the Yarn Addict, Yarn Talk, and all the things. So, you know, we do scrap cakes. We do WIPn It with Juan sessions. I go live in pop-ups, and then I bring my mom on Sundays. I do yarn reviews. I do all the things. If it's about yarn, I'm doing it. So if that interests you, check me out, hang around, and, you know, hopefully you have a good time every time you come see me. So anyway, oh, finally, make sure to hit that notification bell to stay updated with everything regarding me and my channel. So that way when I go live and things, you know when I'm on. You can come and we can chat and talk in real time and things. So anyway, my friends, that is it for this session. And yeah, until the next one, have a good one, friends. Bye.